Welcome to another episode of Something for the People. This is your boy B Hunt, aka the Silent Prophet, along with my co-host Big Country.
What's good, people?
For your viewing pleasure, we also got DJ,
What it do?
Top Notch, and because we don't want to waste no time, we want to jump right into it. Should couples have access to each other's phone and social media accounts?
I would ask the question, why? Like, why do you need all this extra access? And it's like, I know some people will say that, oh, well, if you don't have nothing to hide, you wouldn't mind someone doing it.
Right.
And I don't have nothing to hide. And I'm like, I give my wife my phone. I'm like, she know my password and all those kind of things. She know my password to everything. But if you're on my social media, if you're going through my phone doing all these extra things, we got a lot of issues going on right here. Like, you can't say, oh, I trust you, but then I'm going through all your stuff, looking through everything, trying to figure out what you're doing. Are you talking to somebody? If I don't like this person, all that kind of stuff.
I would have to ask you, is there like a level of transparency that you believe a relationship should have? Because that's the whole thing. It could be based in your insecurity, or it can be based in just, hey,
If there's real insecurity, like if I cause my wife, or if somebody calls your girlfriend, boyfriend that insecurity, mean you cheating? Like, yes, you should be able to be like, hey, I'm not cheating. I can prove to you I'm not cheating because of these things. Because I gave you this access just in case you need it. But now, if we're going, oh, I did something like 5 years ago and you still going through these same motions, thinking that, you don't need to be with me because
Right.
you will never trust me again. If you'll never trust me, you will never truly love me.
I feel like that's where it speaks to. It's like, hey, would you, so if you got a person that you in a relationship with, right? And then for some odd reason you did step out and that was against y'all situation, your contract y'all set up to be together.
Yeah.
Do you believe that you should stay with that person just on the grounds of like, hey, we gonna work it out, but you never, like, you can't say you never really work it out because the trauma's still gonna be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, if you cannot get over it, you need to leave. No matter who it is. If you cannot move past the issue that happened. But hell, there's people that hadn't cheated and there's still somebody is like, oh, well, I need all this information. Like, I hear a lot of dudes now be talking about,
But like
oh,
he
my wife
said,
better not do none of this stuff.
like he said, that's based on the person's insecurity. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, if I give you no reason to be down my throat, then what's the point of you doing it?
Exactly.
Like I've done nothing but be a quote unquote model person inside this relationship, and I've given you no reason to be looking into me like this, and you doing it anyway. That says a lot about the person that's doing it.
Yeah.
But also, we
got it.
gotta take into account who people are. We connect dots, patterns. We look for patterns. When you deviate from the pattern, this is what they call women's intuition. When you deviate from the pattern,
Yes.
they start poking it. They start poking it like, what's different? Why is it different? Why is it wrong? Why is it? And in hopes to like uncover something. They looking for fault lines.
But going to that, because I've said this on numerous episodes, I don't believe in women's intuitions. But at the end of the day, if I'm doing something new, it may be something for the benefit. That's like working out.
I was gonna say that too.
If it, like, some people haven't worked out in years, if you like, hey, I'm getting back in the gym to go work out, I'm deviating from my normal pattern because it takes 21 days to make or break a habit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have to start doing this now, it's deviating from the pattern. That don't mean I'm doing no dirt.
However, when you deviated from the pattern, you've explained it. You gave full transparency. I'm getting back in the weight room. So that loss or that deviation from the time period is already, it's compensated for. Hey,
Yeah.
I know you at the gym. Why? Because you said you at the gym.
But to a person's insecurity now, because if you that insecure and I'm going to the gym, because every time I've said I've been at the gym, I've been at the gym.
Righteous.
But if you have a person that is very insecure or not secure with themselves in general, Why? They mess around, drive up to the gym just to see where you at, hit that location. You know, they got all them find my app
Yeah.
and stuff. I'm like, first of all, if you gotta hunt me down that often, if I'm not where I'm saying I am, that's when you can come at me.
Yeah.
Like, feel free, pull up. I used to tell my wife back in the day a lot of times, if you don't believe I'm where I'm at, pull up.
Yeah.
Come in there and be like, hey, just checking on you. Be out.
I don't know.
I ain't
Part
tripping.
of me, I feel like, look, I don't want you. You gonna have to trust me. But at the same time, I'm also on the side of where person don't care nothing about. So you ain't gonna find nothing out about me from social media outside of
Exactly.
Right.
I draw. Like,
And as far as like the whole location thing, I got my wife's location right now. Do I check it? I only check it when I feel like she might be in danger.
yeah,
That's
Other
the only
than
way
that,
you should check it.
I'm not
not
sitting there at the
concerned.
house like, what's she going to Walmart
She's
for?
3 miles away.
You know what I'm
from
saying?
she
I'm not
said.
doing that.
That's weird to
Miles
me.
away.
And I'm like, I blame a lot of dudes on that because that insecurity thing. If my wife go out with her friends, cool, go out with your friends, be safe, have fun. Now, if I do have your location, if it's past like 2:00, club closes at 2, you shouldn't be the last person out the club as a woman. But I'm like, if the club closed at 2 and it's now getting to 3:30, stuff like that, yeah, I'm gonna look at this location. Hey, baby, where you at?
You good?
Make
And
sure
do I need to
you
pull up?
safe.
Yeah.
Do I need to pull up? Is somebody haggling you? Somebody messing with y'all? Or do I need to
Yeah,
do
What's
yeah,
holding
on
up the
that?
timeline?
Yeah, because it's like if the club closed at 2, there is no club in Texas now that is open past 2:00 unless you at the strip club. If you at the strip club, hey, let me know. I'm gonna be like, okay,
I'm gonna pull up too. No.
Hey, you know what I'm
and you
saying?
can do that too.
Yeah.
It's just my form of charity. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
But
Yeah, it's a bonding
unless
experience.
somebody is truly outside of pocket, what the hell you checking locations and all that kind of stuff? I knew somebody that was checking the speedometer on the car. Oh, it take him
That's
so
next
long
level
to
there.
get from work to the house. So if he deviate, I'm like, what the hell?
That's
what
next-
if I want to go to the grocery store?
That's next level insecurity.
I just
right there,
be
dog.
like me. I don't want to feel like I'm under constant surveillance. You know, but I also understand that even to be on Facebook, you got to give up some level of privacy. So
Yeah.
when it comes to, I'll give you all these tools, but if you feel like you need to use these tools against me, then I don't know if we need to be together.
But that's the whole thing is like, I'll give my wife complete access to everything. She know my bank accounts, she know my card numbers, she know everything because I'm like, that's my wife. I trust you.
They pretty
Now,
much know all this.
Yeah,
Anyway.
you should
Like,
know.
like,
it.
yeah,
Like,
you know what I'm
I
saying?
give her my social security card number so many dang times and my card. So I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
But if you feel, man, I gotta check all these things all the time, I'm gonna do the same thing you would do if you found dirt or things like that.
Right.
I'm gonna leave you.
Yeah.
Because if you say you gonna leave me, if you found this inappropriate whatever, then why shouldn't I leave you for you hunting for this inappropriate whatever and can't find nothing?
Right. I would also be like, I'm leaving you because you don't trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like regardless of how you want to I'm leaving you because I don't feel like I should be attacked and wrongfully accused and profiled because the last dude you had should have been profiled. I'm not him.
Yeah.
If you want to go and have somebody to be Sherlock Holmes to, then go find him. I'm not the guy. Like
Yeah.
I'm not Moriarty. Like I'm not him. So
Yeah.
leave me be.
Yeah.
It's all about knowing it's all about knowing the person that you with too, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that level of trust, and then knowing, like you said, we creatures of habit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure your wife know how you move, where you move, what you gonna do. She ain't got no reason to be looking for what you looking for.
Yeah.
And like for me, I'm pretty much I do the same stuff over and over and over. People will call me boring. So technically, she not gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, I see he went to GameStop. What he doing in GameStop? I'm buying a game like I normally do. I'm doing what I normally do. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about knowing who you with, and if you know that you can't trust that person, don't drag that shit along. Don't drag it along. Just let it ride, because being with somebody out of convenience is not always the best route to take.
Right.
It ain't always the best thing to do because you gonna end up doing more damage to yourself and feeding into that insecurity than just letting that person go and be like, all right, you gonna live your life, I'm gonna live mine. I ain't gotta worrying about what you doing.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I've always looked at it like this. If I'm on point with everything I need to be on point with, I shouldn't have nothing to worry about.
That's true.
So I'm like, if I'm being the best husband I could be, the best father I could be, all these kind of things, I don't worry about the next man and what he may be trying to get and all that. If you fall for that and you go for that, so be it. I ain't gonna trip. I'll be like, okay, I could leave this with my head held high.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, if you over here slipping, slacking, and doing the bare minimum, that's your insecurity.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Cause like if you bringing 100% to the table, man or a woman, you know that you holding up your end of the bargain, you should know you ain't got nothing to worry about. But like on the previous episode, you know, if you're not taking care of the house, and you know, like you said about the milkman sliding in, he didn't came in and tightened up on what you was slacking on. So if you're not taking care of what you need to take care of, then okay, you got a little room for some doubt to get in there. But if you on point, ain't no need for it.
See, that's the insecurity of this generation now, because now they'll say, it don't matter what I'm not doing, nobody else should be doing it. And it's like, that's like a double-edged sword, because it's like, yes, nobody else should have their hand in the cookie jar.
Right.
But you should be taking care of them cookies. These cookies old. These cookies stale. But, oh man, they're okay because they're cookies. No. Handle your business.
Somebody gotta eat the cookies.
Yeah.
And I don't want stale cookies.
They don't taste
put
well.
Fresh cookies in here.
They don't. Stale cookies don't taste well. You know
they don't taste like they normally
they would. Yeah.
It just be what I'm saying is people show up with a whole status, because that's what it's all about. Everybody want to have a status. People are so quick to say, I'm the best husband, or I'm the best wife, I'm the greatest person. I'd be like, you understand that the titles that we put on ourselves have to come with work.
Uh-huh.
I
don't put Kobe up here because he didn't work. I put him up there because he worked. His work ethic was beyond.
Right.
You've already bested majority of the people in the league. On top of that, you consistently go in and practice if you are not the best.
Yeah.
LeBron, physically you are a dominant player. You already been dominant. You continuously be dominant. You got old and you still dominant. Look, bro, I gotta give you the accolades associated with the time. If somebody wanted to have a contest to say who's the best player, and you entered Kobe or you entered LeBron or you entered Jordan, I'm gonna be like, yeah.
But that's just like what we were talking about before this episode. We were talking about Jay-Z, Lil Wayne and stuff like that, and even Jay Ivory from Never Let Me Down. The idea is certain people, they put in so much work, you can't help but say, nah, bro, you gotta give it to them. Then other people is like, hey, you gotta tighten up.
Yeah.
You gotta come back and tighten up if you know you need to tighten up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's with anything in life. This is a life lesson. Anything in life, whether it be relationships, work, raising your kids, anything, it's going to take some work. Like, you're going to have to put in that work for the best product. Right. Practice is going to have to come in. You know, we always used to take that AI adage. Practice. This ain't no game. We talking about practice. Yeah, we are talking about practice. We talking about the practice of life and being able to instill what you've learned from that practice of life into your everyday life.
Righteous.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2. Can you truly love someone without ever have met them in person?
According to Catfish, yes, you can.
Like,
catfish ain't real.
But this
catfish ain't real.
Catfish is real.
No, maybe if you spent your whole life on social media.
But we are growing into an age where kids are. This is where we at.
But what I'm saying is,
oh, sorry. You know why? It's because your parents didn't whoop you and do what they were supposed to do. Get the hell out. Go make some friends somewhere.
They do make friends
on social media. How many kids you know right now, or how many people you know actually go be with their friends?
But
They
look
don't.
at it
They
like
ain't
this.
trying to drive. They ain't trying to do none of this other stuff that we used to do. All they need is Uber Eats, DoorDash, and a webcam, and they great.
We here
Now,
together.
look at it like this. You can say those are friends because of interest. We like certain things together.
Mhm.
But do you think they really made a friendship? Like, okay, I could say it like this. Me and him been cool for what, 14 years now?
Probably more.
I know basically any and everything about you. I know your family. I know all of it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you build a real friendship. You went out and talked to that friend. I cannot talk to him over the internet and find out everything about him. He's not going to let me in the same way he would let me in.
But
Like,
that's me though. You talking about people from two different generations. We talking about for the people
people
now
this
versus
generation
then.
don't know nothing about each other.
But what I'm saying is,
They know what they let. They let them know.
Exactly.
I
I
know-
know things he don't even think, oh, nah, because I pay attention. As a friend, it's like, oh, we've been in the same space so much.
Mhm.
I know how much he hate to be wrong no matter what.
I have no issue.
Like,
with
no
being
matter
wrong.
what, he will hate to be wrong. Anybody that
not.
truly knows him knows he, for a fact, hates to be wrong. He will finesse any way possible to be right.
You should have been a
But I
lawyer,
am.
bro.
You know what? You are not the first person to tell me this.
But it's just true. And you learn those things. Why?
You're not the
Because
first.
it's like, I know you. I've been in
Hey.
every encounter in space.
I don't dispute none of that stuff that you're saying. Only thing I'm gonna put this out here again. We are in a whole different era of people.
It's just different.
They don't value making friends like that anymore.
That's why they're so depressed now. That's why it's so sad. Okay, look at it like this.
Okay.
On social media,
Mhm.
you're not showing your true self. You're showing what you want people to see. You show the best version of yourself. That's why every dude think he got game on social media, because you could be anything you want. But when you meet that person in person, they lame as hell.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, the person who's typing this message out, even though it's well crafted, well thought out, hopefully, this is something, what they're showing you is, I'm capable of this level of conversation. Because most of the time I was like, if I go on a date with a chick and she pull out her phone, this ain't gonna work. I don't even, like, unless it's an emergency or whatever it may be. The easiest way to lose me in like a space, like I brought you here, you pulled your phone.
Pull your phone
I'm
out.
done. Like,
You basically just telling me you bored.
you bored. Okay, you bored. And I'm not your cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be like, you ready to go home? Like, what's up? I'm ready we can move on.
Yeah.
But online, she might have been like, oh yeah, she could probably be on her phone and surfing the net, doing this, all this, but she's able to entertain my curiosities based on, hey, I'm still sending you a message.
Because those are superficial things. It's like, oh, we could connect. Most dudes now will connect over video games. Hey, man, we playing the game and all that stuff. We'll talk trash to each other over the game. You ain't having no in-depth conversations over the game. Like, not no, oh, man, how's life really treating you? How we going to get this money? How are we going to better ourselves economically?
Well, one, I would like to say that you brought up a great point, and maybe people should start, because it's a lot of people spend a lot of time online with the game.
Hey, but
maybe if you incorporated some of them conversations,
it's very lucrative.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
It's like we gonna game. It's a game. Oh, that's a new video game meetings. Legit.
Whoa.
We saying that on TV.
Yeah,
I coined it. Y'all.
Hey, wait, we gonna cut that out. You know what I'm saying?
Just in case. But at the same time, like all across. But what I'm saying is, if you got a person who if they were honest with themselves and they truly trying to put themselves and their true representation of themselves forward, because you get somebody who been talking to somebody for a couple of years, and eventually I'm gonna get tired of doing these whole artificial crafted messages. I'm gonna start telling you some real, hopefully. Like,
You would hope.
I would be like, if you spent the time to talk to somebody for 2-3 years and just really investing in trying to figure out, this is what I'm trying to learn about you. What's your day like? What are you like? All these types of things, right? And also, from where we sit in the current dating space, right? You gotta pay a subscription to basically deal with a woman or the Instagram women of the world, right? Because if I ain't taking you to, if well, let me take that back. If I'm taking you to the Cheesecake Factory, I'm not a good man, apparently,
Lord.
right? So I'm taking you to this steakhouse, and I'm like, I don't necessarily know if you want to talk to me or the chef in the back. So if I'm able to talk to you and hold your attention for a long period of time just online, and the only thing we got to share between each other is dialogue, text dialogue. You reading my messages, and I know some of them people who really be internet dating be sending out them paragraphs. You mean to tell me you read a 2-year novel on me before we got to meeting and doing all that?
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
So I'm like,
it happens, my guy.
that would put it in a certain space to where maybe the people who are online and actually doing it. What I'm saying is it could potentially. I'm not gonna discredit it as if it's not a viable way to find it, especially in this climate.
I'm not saying it's not a good way to meet, but if you sit here and tell me it's all online, like again, you could tell me anything you want, but when I see you in person. Like, if you keep veering off to the side every time I bring something up, I'm like, oh, so this is a touchy subject. I could write on a piece of paper, hey, I'm a millionaire. Send it over to you. Now, if every time you saw me in person, I'm always asking you for money.
Google.
That's true. What I'm saying is, I'm not trying to, I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to discredit your line of thought. Like you have very valid statements made, right? For those people who wish to use that and exploit that as an avenue to get more, like the African Prince thing, that's a real thing. We didn't just come up with the term. Like, that's real. That happens. People are getting, serious. Conned online on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
But I also take into account there are people who are really trying to find Mrs. or Mr. Right online. So I'm like, those people's efforts shouldn't be discredited because there's some people who wish to play the game foul.
We wouldn't have as many dating apps and sites if that thing wasn't a real case.
Right.
Like, you got way too many. I don't know all the names of them, but there's a lot because I know people that have been on them.
Okay. So I do understand starting it off online. But if it's only online, you can't sit here and tell me that's love. And what I mean, the reason why I say you can't sit here and tell me that's love is because I'm trying to introduce myself, get introduction. So the way you start actually falling in love, y'all start talking more. Y'all start having those personal one-on-one conversations and stuff. I can see you doing certain things.
What I'm saying is this, based on that right there. Every time you send a text or a DM, it is a personal, unless you do a group chat, it's a personal one-on-one conversation. Yeah. Just because I read it doesn't take away the validity of, like, I read it, but it's your words. Like, this is what you think.
Okay. Got a question for y'all real quick. It's on that narrative. So, do you believe you can love someone without ever touching them? And I'm not talking about sexually, but just touching them. Like, think about anybody and everyone you truly can honestly say, I love you. You hold them, you hug them, you dap them up, you grab all these kinds of things. You play ball with them, you do all these things because we are human. We are creatures. We do things in this order because it's like, even fellas, man, we may not go, I'm gonna give you this big old hug. What's good, bro? What's good? I'm gonna dap you up. I'm gonna show you some love. That's why. Hey, give me some love, bro.
Yeah. I can get you with that.
Online talking about,
but
I'm so in love.
But we gotta go into the whole psyche of there's multiple versions of languages of love. Physical touch is one. And for most guys, it's that's
affirmation is one for some people. So you can get affirmation over a text.
I can get affirmation. I can get
you
the
can,
other signs
even though you may not receive it in the same way that you would do the physical touch, but you can also get positive affirmation through text.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If somebody telling you, so for example, if I was to be one of these people that was online and I met a woman that I want to talk to, if I tell her how beautiful she is, or good morning, hope you have a great day, sorry that your day went like this, and you're telling me that, that's going to build.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, even though we not physically together, they gonna look for that from me anytime I talk to them.
Right.
Because they building a connection to them.
And then just take into account the level of attention that it. I sent you a text told me my day was bad. Most people would be like, y'all got bad days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's up? Like, but instead of that, I'm like, oh, I'm sad your day went that way. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
I took the time to acknowledge you. A lot of love is being seen. Like, physical touch plays a major part, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
However, you can get to a certain point. Like, I care about you to the point where, like I said, you gonna send me this paragraph about your life, and I'm gonna read it.
Love for some people is subjective. You have to like, some of us don't know actually what it is. So any type of attention that we get from anybody can be equated to love for them.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on the type of person that it is, depending on what, there's a lot of factors that go into it. But depending on the person, they may receive that as love. Just left field out there. Some people think that physical beating is somebody loving them.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody feel like verbally abusing them is, like
form.
It's some form of love, because if you didn't berate me, that means you care about me in some form of fashion.
True.
Which, like I say, I'm not trying to throw out or negate nothing that you said, but like, it's so many different ways for people to love on people in their minds.
Right.
It's a lot of times everything that we feel is up here. A lot of us say that we feel it with here, but a lot of times the stuff that you think and that you feel comes here first.
Right.
Because the idea starts somewhere. If you typing on a keyboard or something about, I think I like this person. That's a thought. That's a feeling. You feel like you like this person.
I'm just saying, based on the flesh, there can be a lot of misconceptions, right?
So,
right.
And that's one thing that I was about to say was, there's a lot of misconceptions out there. Mm-hmm. But should we start narrowing down these misconceptions? Because, for example, everybody, and there's a lot of women out here that have been heartbroken, and a lot of men have been heartbroken because they thought someone truly loved them, but they loved something about them. They never loved them. So I wish we would stop using, I could show you love that way. I could show you love that way. I could do that. Because when you keep saying it and throwing it out in every way,
I feel like
in order for that to hold weight, we would have to actually put a definition on what love is, and I don't think anybody can just put like a
definitive. There's a technical Webster definition, but there's too many types of people in the world for us to actually put a true definition on what love is. And then just to add to that, I feel like for us to actually get to that point, we'll have to heal a lot of people. We'll have, you know what I'm saying? Like it would be. Like you just said, there's a lot of heartbroken people that are in the world, and they don't understand where it is. So for them to mask it up and to move around and to act like just different things are contributing to what they feel is love, it would have to take a lot of healing for a lot of people for us to be able to really move towards that direction.
So then it will always, by saying it like that, it's always going to be that whole saying, hurt people. Because
it's true.
Forever doing it.
Yeah, it's true though. Like, you know what I'm saying? That I've said it before. You said hurt people. I always say broken people hurt broken people.
Yeah.
And broken people create more broken people.
Yeah.
And because we don't take the time to sit back, heal ourselves, or go through the work to heal ourselves, and then we move to the next situation and we end up breaking that person because we never took time to fix what broke us.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether it be from a relationship or it be family. Like, a lot of us suffer from stuff that our families did to us and we do it to other people.
Right.
And so sitting back and moving to the next situation, or sitting back and being like, oh man, ain't nothing wrong with me, I'm good. No, something ain't right with you. And you just refuse to pay it any attention, and you gonna take that to the next person and mess them up.
Yeah.
Before I jump to this next one, I got one question.
Okay.
So, A long time ago, I read online
Mhm.
that this guy actually got married to his gaming console.
Yeah.
And he's like, I love it. You know what I'm saying? Is that love not valid?
You love what it do for you. You don't love it. You like if it break today, are you still gonna love it?
I
If
can
it
buy
break,
another copy.
And just
so you
rename
don't
it.
love the same gaming console. You just
No,
love
but
another.
it's a
No,
game.
because that gaming console broke.
It's
You
supposed to be
saying
the
that, you saying
original.
that, but what I'm saying is this: we looking at the console, but most of the time they love a game on the console because it's like a whole little AI generated situation where it's a dating simulator, right?
Okay.
The
You still got
avatar that's
yeah,
inside the
I still got my profile. So the console broke, but all the information I had that made me fall in love with the game is up in the cloud somewhere. I pull all that back and I put it in a new console, and then I still get that same feeling that I got from it when that console broke. Right? The difference with people is I can't currently download anybody's consciousness, but the body is simply a console. The mind is what you love. The things that that person thinks and or does for you will lead you down that path of love, right? Now the physical being is what goes and does the physical stuff for you. But the mind, you think I'm gonna do right by this person, so you do right by that person.
Right.
You think you love this person, so you in turn love that person. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It goes back to the brain in the box. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the only reason I'm kind of iffy on that one because I was thinking of that song about music, Love Child, as long as your love don't change. And you remember the video? They were all young and everything, and they were happy in love. And then she had accident, and
End up in a
she
wheelchair.
was in a wheelchair. And then they were old and gray and all that stuff. Are you gonna love that gaming console the same way? Meaning, if your
Version 2 coming.
I'm just saying, no, that's a different console. That's a whole different console if you say version 2.
Yeah.
But when it
Version
comes to
2.
people in general, it's like if I say I love my wife when I took my vows through better or worse, through sickness and health, till death do us part. That's the idea.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
some people keep on. Oh well,
We
new
gonna
console.
dive more into that, but that'll be in just so you know. This is not just so you know. I'm just precursor. We got one more topic before we get to what the people want. Not saying the people don't want this, 'cause they definitely do. Is there a problem with being a person's first good person? Is there a problem?
I don't know.
I'll let you want me to go first?
I'll jump in there.
Go ahead, go first, then, bro.
So it depends on the context. One, because when we're talking about a person's first good person, like, are we saying that that person has been hurt so many times? Because I do believe in contrast. Like, hey, if you are in a state of perpetual dark, how do you know night from day? How do you know? You know what I'm saying? Granted, I'm sure you could pick up on like certain signs as far as Stevie Wonder. Like, technically, I don't necessarily know if he's ever seen a day of but he's seen black all the time. But he also understands that there's a point in the day where there's a lot of human interaction, and there's a point where there's not.
Right.
So
then he will also feel the warmth
warmth.
of the sun on
Right.
his skin versus not feeling it.
Right.
So that's why I would have to bring up those different points. Like, for example, for me, I would have to honestly say is that if I'm trying to figure out the right way to say this, because
I apologize. I apologize, people. That's my wife. That's why I had to. Normally, I would have silenced them, but and she got my kids with her too. I just couldn't.
Understandable.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
All right, cool.
It's understandable. Yeah. Hey.
All right, but first of all, I know I was speaking to something in reference to Stevie Wonder and the whole. I don't necessarily know night from day, but I do understand that there's a difference between the interactions that I have and the interactions I do not have. So there's a contrast that could be made there. All that going back to reference to whether you can be a person's first good person. So there's a distinct contrast. If you've never had that level of contrast to where there's somebody who treats me abnormally good, like they always treat me well. But if you've always only had people treat you well, then you'll never fully grasp the concept of this could stop. And I do feel like one good person, there's a duality to them, right? So it's like today, yeah, I'm treating you well, but as soon as you start treating me bad, then I'll be like, oh, we'll give you some distance. And that distance creates that longing. Because they say distance makes the heart grow fonder, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was treating you amazing yesterday. And when I was treating you amazingly, you was treating me like a dog. Well, roof. I'm finna distance myself and going back to doing what I was doing. And you gonna hopefully miss the things that you was getting from me, so you can understand that what was given can also be taken away.
Yeah.
So I feel like, is there a problem with being someone's first good person? I feel like there's a level of building that has to take place, because eventually, me being your first good person, you have to understand that there's ups and downs in me as well.
Mhm.
I'm not always the best person for you. I can't be, because my life happens too.
Yeah.
But at all times, my intention for you could be good.
Right.
And sometimes, and I'm a firm believer in hard love and soft love. Soft love is that whole lovey-dovey, hey, this, that, and the third. But sometimes my love has to come with a lesson. And in order for me to teach that and be, efficient for you, like to really drive it home, I got to be something that you don't necessarily think I got to be something that I know you don't want, but I know you need it.
Yeah. And I feel like it may, I don't want to say yes, I don't want to say no. I'll probably say maybe it'll be difficult, because to take into account, like you said, I am a person as well. And you can't pour into a person if they're not pouring back into you. If it's it's not a reciprocal thing, because you gonna get tired of being the good person all the time to somebody that's being terrible to you.
Right.
And you not being able to be refilled, you're gonna burn yourself out trying to take care of this person or being good to this person. So in that sense, yes, it can be tiresome. It can be hard. If the person that you're doing this with is willing or understanding that they are on a healing journey or in a process of becoming a better person themselves, and y'all are doing the reciprocal thing, it can be rewarding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a give and take with all of that. It just depends on the caliber of the person that you embarking on this with. We have hurt people, we have broken people, we got people that don't understand the concept of being with someone. We have those that just constantly live their life in chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're the first sense of stability, the first sense of peace that this person has, they don't know how to receive it.
Yeah.
They're not going to know how to handle it. So it's like, all I know is to react like this, and you not giving me that. So let me give you what I know and hope that you understand that this is what I'm giving to you.
Right.
And you be like, well, hold on. Wait. I don't love on people like that.
Right.
I don't love on them by beating them up or berating them. That's not my style. This is what it is. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to love on you. We're going to try to come up with some kind of process or something to learn this lesson from. And when you do that, it throws people out of whack sometimes.
Right.
And like my whole thought and theory is basically on what both of you are saying, but I also think about it is because of the way this world has been set up, people that actually want the best for you don't get the best in return. Right. And what I mean by that, there's a lot of people out here that truly would love to love you, but it's like they may not. It's like you're so used to getting it this way, just like there's men out here and women out here. Okay, you're used to going on bad dates. You're used to dealing with people that are only trying to use you for one thing or another. Mm-hmm. You're not used to a person trying to actually truly get to know you, that really wants to love you with your clothes on or with or without money.
Right.
But they truly want you. Mm-hmm. But the issue comes in is because they're so used to getting those things all the time. When you get that, They're so used to getting the negative aspect all the time. So when that person does come in, it's like you gotta jump through so many hurdles and hoops,
It's
and
that
that person's still waiting for the shoe to drop on
it's
you.
it's that it's
Right.
that wall that's been put up. It's that castle that they sitting in. So I always use this analogy, and I probably didn't used it before. I'm sitting on the throne inside the castle. I got 1,000,000 guards around me. I got a moat and I got a drawbridge. You not getting in until I let you in. But sometimes I don't know how to let you in.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Some people don't know how to let people in because they've been burned so many times that they then became numb to it, and they expect for people to be ugly to them. They expect for people not to treat them right. They expect for that proverbial other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
So it's all inside here, you know, because I've been that person before. In my teenage years, I was always so good to people and always trying to drag people along. We're going to do this. We're going to build this. We're going to do this together. And I would always get the short end of the stick. Yeah. So when I became a young adult, I expected for people to not to treat me the way that I expected to be treated. Yeah, I expected for people to not rock with me. You know what I'm saying? And when people showed me love, I didn't know how to receive it. It took for me to be married to understand how it really works. You know what I'm saying? So before then, I was skeptical of everybody.
Righteous.
Every person, and I'm just being transparent, man. Like every person that I would come across, whether they was good people or not, I knew they was good people. But I always expected for the friendship to fall through because it's like, you know, this is my expectation. This is what happens before. I ain't gonna hold nothing to it. And even if they stop rocking with me today, I've become so numb to it that it don't matter to me no more.
Right.
Yeah.
But I had to realize not everybody in this world out to get me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not everybody is looking to get something from me and not get nothing back. If you come across people that show you love, receive that love. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta learn how to.
Right. Yeah. I just want to speak from the other, because the analogy you gave in reference to the 1,000 guards, the moat, and all that, it just enlightened me to how much work it would actually be to just accept. Like, if you somebody with that level of security, how much work it would actually be just to accept.
It takes somebody. A lot.
Yeah, because just think about it. A person with 1,000 guards is all like I equate that to you've had 1,000 different scenarios that made you put a guard in place for that, right? So when you meet this person who you fully know, they mean all the well to me, bro. They ain't shown me nothing to, but okay, they trying to come and approach me about a business deal. Well, the last business deal I got burned on. So that guard steps in and you got to be like, hey, it's all right, fam. He good. She good.
Yeah.
Then, that same person comes through and be like, oh, yeah, I'm trying to do this whole relationship thing. And then the last relationship I was in, though, I got burned. So that guard step in place and you're like, hey, it's okay. But all that trying to reverse engineer or reverse all that trauma from your life without it, like a good person forces you to revisit all the pain and be like, dang, man, like that person really did screw me up. Yeah. Like they really put me in that space where I needed all y'all when in reality I didn't need none of y'all. Like all these guards I just needed the right person to be in the castle.
It's like playing chess.
See, but when it comes to that, a lot of times one of the issues we have is you could have that person that could change your life for the better. But all that negativity, all those people or things that you went through could have that wall up so bad that person can't get through that wall.
That's when it comes to you as the person that has the wall up. You have to get to a point where you can recognize that I put this up and I need to be the one to move the pieces out the way.
Yeah.
They can't be the ones that's going to do it, because if they keep doing it, they're going to get tired and then they're going to walk away, and then you're going to get exactly what you expected. Right. And so
he couldn't handle or she couldn't handle.
I heard while I was watching the episode of Wall Street Trappers, Wall Street is like us on that. And he said that we work so hard to block the life, to get away from the life that we don't want, that we end up blocking the life that we do want, because we're so focused on what we didn't want. So as you stated, you'll put so much effort and so much energy into all the negative things that happen in your life that you end up blocking the blessings that's gonna come from your people around you that want to love on you, that want to pour into you. You're gonna end up blocking that because you focused on the negative.
Out that just and like they push me in the space of, you know, they always say that statement, success is the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Like blocking people, you'll be successful in it.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep telling yourself every day, no, I ain't finna go over there and deal with that person because I know what they're gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully so. They burned you before,
Mm-hmm.
your expectation they burn you in the same way. Yeah. But when you start when it becomes too successful, that's why I feel like the whole women who create these lists of how where I'm gonna go and where I'm gonna eat, what he gonna drive, what he not gonna drive, or the
Mm-hmm.
men who be like, I can't do this with a married woman, I gotta fly overseas. Like all of you put all this stuff in the way, it's because it was too successful.
It's a form of self-sabotage.
Because hey, if not, because the psyche of the person is for the female, if nothing else, I gotta stay dinner out of it.
Yeah.
For the guy, shoot, no matter what no matter what happened, she ain't gonna get this green card unless she really love me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you always got a backup plan. It's brave to truly love, bro. It's like it's brave to really try to invest yourself in a relationship.
It's a vulnerability.
It's like, also for some people it's scary because it's like you've never seen it before. Like I remember, like I'm a hopeless romantic. I've been doing this since I was young. My parents used to say, "Oh, you just so romantic and you do all this kind of stuff," because I've always wanted to do like the nicest, the sweet, the best thing because I'm like, well, hell, I mean, I want people to do that for me.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, I remember when I was younger, I used to talk to certain girls and everything, and then I take them on a date. Sometimes I even buy them a flower or two or something like that.
Yeah.
I had one girl tell me, "Oh, you got that from a movie." I'm like, "No, I just thought about the flower and thought about you." And was like, "Oh, where'd you get that line from?" And I'm like, "It wasn't a line. It was just what I thought."
That goes back to they not having it.
And then it's like, oh, and then in my mind, I'm like, do I want to deal with this? Because it gets to a point where you like, bruh, okay, I'm trying to show you who I am, but everything is like, oh, you got this from somewhere else. Oh, you're doing this because of this. Oh, all you trying to do is get some booty. And I'm like, all these kind of things. And it's like, do I really want to put forth this effort?
That's what it is. Going back to what he said with that analogy, like I said, it was an amazing analogy, fam. At the risk of war, do I want to keep showing you that I'm not a threat? Because every time you're like, I brought you a flower. Here goes my guard for the flower. Because last dude brought me a flower. I let him hit and he quit. Like, oh, the last dude, he had slick lines. He was a snake. So it's like the guard keep coming back and like, nah, the last time, it's okay. And then you got a response for it. So it's like, but at the risk of war, because eventually, like I said, it was too successful. So every time I put my guard up to tell me not to deal with this person, I didn't get hurt. And you like, look, I'm not going to keep dealing with too many of these guards because every time they show up on me, they got their knives out and their shields up. So I'm like, look, where I'm from, if the guard keep coming, we call it for cops, it's called racial profiling. If I keep showing up in your neighborhood and you only stopping people who look like me, and I have the best of intentions, I'm not gonna keep coming here. I'm not gonna keep showing up to your store if everything that's for black people is locked up. Although I understand you need these precautions because you feel like they keep stealing the wave grease. They keep stealing the brushes. But when I go over there to the regular old combs, they open and free.
Yeah.
So you know what? This ain't a store for me. This ain't a neighborhood for me. Let me leave this store and put myself in a space to where, hey, when I walk up, I can just grab what I need because they understand it's a level of trust.
Yeah.
So but at the same time, if it don't work with me, if I keep on knocking down these guards and I'm putting in all this work and I feel like this battle has become tiresome, right?
Yeah.
At the end of it, it'll be a confirmation bias for her if it doesn't work. or a confirmation bias for him if it don't work. Because they'll be like, see, I
knew
knew
it.
they wasn't going to stick around.
But
And now they got a new guard. There'll be some that are so good, they'll break down all my barriers. But when they get to the one that might have unlocked the dungeon and freed the princess and got the gold.
But then that's
True
almost
color show.
that's like basically at the end of the day, you might as well just drink that poison yourself, because what you're doing is you're stopping everything in that could possibly help you. I understand you don't want something that's gonna hurt you. Nobody want something that's detrimental to you. But if you got the poison here, and basically you slowly but surely drinking your own poison, because you're like, no, I ain't gonna let y'all kill me. I ain't gonna let you
I'ma kill
in.
you.
But
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
keep
But a lot of the times, one of them guards may be a childhood experience. Some of them guards might be aces. Some of these guards may be things that just played out in your teenage years. But a lot of the times, that last guard is a reflection of the mirror.
Yeah.
Because who holding the last key? You.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's the inner part of yourself that you don't want to face. You don't want to face him, because if you look at him and you tell him to open the door, then that's the real essence of who you are. And now the world sees it. Or now this person that loved on you all this time, that tried to get through the door, now you're going to let them see it, and you don't want them to see that, because that opens the vulnerability of who you are.
Yeah.
A lot of us walk through life with guards up every single day, because sometimes we are products of the environment that we grew up in, and we don't know how to cope with nothing else but how to move in this way. When we do that, and we finally break through them barriers and get to that last guard, like I say, that last guard is the person that you don't want to look at in the mirror. And it's the ugly truth of who you are.
It's the core.
It's the core. It's it. It's the last guard in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
And when he disappear, ain't nothing left but for you to face the fact that I did this. I did this to the people around me. I did this to the people that tried to love on me. And now how do I face them? How do I face them? How do I come to them and be like, hey, man, my bad? Or how do you go to that woman and be like, I know you love me, but I don't know how to receive the love that you're trying to give me, because I didn't know how to love on you, or I didn't know how to receive the love that you was trying to give me. How do we start? It's hard. It's a difficult game.
Different space.
Yeah.
It's a different space, man.
Yeah. And it's well, because I granted, so we asked, because I want to close that one out, if none of the other ones, with the answer. Is there a problem with being a person's first good person? I'm going to say no, because, and specifically because, at a certain point, you gotta, I'm gonna be the good person, and when I'm being that good person, hopefully you see what I am and accept me for who I am, and thus in return gives you the ability to heal and accept you for who you are, right?
Right.
Because like I said, if you're a hurt person, acknowledgement and acceptance is the first step to anything for rehabilitation. So, hey, you know I'm a good person, you know I'm good for you, but you keep pushing me away. When I ask you why, I want you to internalize that why and answer it.
Right.
Go figure it out. So, no, everybody at a certain point is going to need to meet that good person. Don't get me confused. Sometimes I don't want you to fall into that confirmation bias and feel like just because you lost a good person that they wasn't a good person.
Right.
It's like, hey, you lost a good person because you couldn't change who you personally were.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like meeting a good person, it's okay to be somebody's first good person, but it's also good for the good person to recognize to where this battle, as much as I push forward, it's okay for me to walk away. And they're going to have a negative, if they fall victim to this confirmation bias, they can have this negative stigma for me, but I can hold my head high knowing I did try. Like, I gave everything to it. It just didn't work. And it was because every time I showed her something new or I showed him something new, there was a guard at the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what it is. We're about to go into You Won't Believe This. And You Won't Believe This is brought to you by,
as always, let us shout out my beautiful wife. Love you, baby. I ask y'all check out Yanni Like Mine, Traces Like Mine, and Wasted Desires. You can go wastedesires.com. They have waist beads, anklets, bracelets, thigh chains, all those different beads and jewelry and make your body look nice and shiny. Um, Traces Like Mine, this is hair care product for a black woman by a black woman. She also does things for men too. She has beard oil, wave oil, different things like that. Check her out. You know, a lot of black people say they don't have stuff for us or for our hair. Check her out. She's on Facebook and on Instagram. And Yanni Like Mine. Ladies, if you don't know what your Yanni is, please look it up. It does not clean itself.
Understood.
I want to shout out my boy Bryce, Slaughter Cuz, Fort Worth, Texas. I also want to shout out We Talk Males. Go check them out on YouTube. And I also want to say happy birthday to my niece McKenna. She turned 18 today.
Oh, top notch. Shout out, McKenna. Do your thing, girl. 18 was a good year.
Yeah. yeah, for sure.
It was a good time. You know, 21 wasn't that great for me because I don't drink it. It didn't change much. I just got more bills. But 18 was hard.
Hey, if you ain't getting no more bills at 21, you were doing something wrong. I don't care.
That's all I got. That's all I got. So, of course, I'm going to shout out Tyler Bailey, Luxury Clothes by Luxury Guy. When I say luxury, I do mean luxury. D-Mac, he's a barber. He's in Dallas. Go see him. I should see him. Outside of that, the primary person that I would like to shout out, the primary people I would like to shout out is, of course, us. And that is something, the number 4, DA People. And you can find us on all your podcasting sites and networks. But also, if you would like to minimize those search results on your YouTube, I would like you to do this thing right here. I would like you to type something, the number 4, DA People, and at the very end, type podcast. That's going to minimize those search results, bring us up a whole lot quicker. Like, share, subscribe, and yeah, if you need to leave any type of review of any sort, we wish to be 5 stars. I understand that giving up that 5-star might touch your soul. You'd be like, I don't know if I can do that, because the last time you was talking about Houston and the sex dolls. Look, fam, look, you're here now, and I'm sure you like what you see because you stay here long enough to hear me say this. So if you can't leave 5 stars, I understand. Go to the comment section, type in your transgressions, and if those transgressions cannot be resolved by us, the crew, I have news for you. There are other podcasts that you can find yourself in. But if you like what you see and you want more content from people like my friends and me, leave that 5 stars so we can get to more people. Top notch. We gonna go ahead and jump to this next one. And this is just so you know. No fault divorce ruined the Institute of Marriage because you can exit for any reason now. If you don't know, Ronald Reagan passed this no fault divorce bill in 1969, right? And we're gonna go to the host to give us more elaboration.
So the issue was in 1969. Ronald Reagan passed no-fault divorce, meaning you could actually split for any reasons. It doesn't matter if it was amicably or not. Basically, if I just don't want to be here, I can leave. Before 1969, you had to have a viable reason, meaning, hey, infidelity, actual reason, or abuse, or different things to actually say why you no longer wanted to truly be in this relationship. Mm-hmm. But now I thought about it and I look at how divorce, over 50% of the people that get married get divorced. Mm-hmm. Over. And a lot of times it doesn't be for infidelity. Infidelity is not even the top 2 reasons for divorce.
Right. Pretty sure money is up there.
Finance is number 1 reason for all divorce.
Hey, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure money is up there.
Finance is the number 1 reason. And then the other number 2 goes into raising of the family. How I was raised versus how you were raised.
I mean, that's why Jesus, did what he did.
Irreconcilable differences.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, for this one, man, to speak on the number one thing, I feel like with the way that we live now and the economy that we live in, I think that number gonna get higher.
Oh yeah.
But
I feel like
why even get married then?
Most people get married out of convenience or out of feeling, momentary.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the issue we come to.
Mhm.
Is a lot of times now is like you didn't set for this long haul.
Mhm.
You didn't get ready for it. You thought once you got married, it was gonna be sunshine and roses.
Yeah.
And I tell a lot of people when they get married, the ugly truth. Every day ain't gonna be a shiny day.
No, it's not.
Doesn't mean every day is gonna be a bad day. But one of the big issues we work through this together.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be days where I'm like, oh, I can't stand you.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's gonna be days where I'm like, man, I just want you close to me.
Yeah, and that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's. I don't want to sound too harsh, but people think this is a goddamn joke.
Yeah.
Like
And that's
people
why they play
think that
every
this is a joke. Like this is nothing but a piece of paper that has no commitment, no work, no nothing to it. It's just that I'm on paper, I'm married to this person, and I can still do whatever the hell I want to do. This is not something that you play with.
Yeah.
And if you want to take it a step further, depending on what you believe, it's an institution that is sacred.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just step on it like it's not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is one thing that me personally, I wasn't going to play with. When I decided to say I do, and when I decided to ask for my wife's hand, I knew that all the games was done.
Yeah, that's it.
It wasn't no plan with this, because once I done made this commitment in front of your family, my family, and in the sight of God, there's no turning back for me, because I took it serious.
Yeah.
People do all this, and then 2 months later, when a disagreement doesn't go the way that you want it, now you want out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a game to them. This ain't nothing to play with.
And that's where the issue comes in.
Yep.
I'm like, people be playing this game, and I'm like, you thought it was gonna be an easy mode game. You thought this was gonna be that little fairy tale where you just jump on it and that was it. Like, nah. It's a lot goes into marriage, and a lot of people don't understand. It's a lot.
What I would hope people understand is this: contracts are just list of terms, and list of terms are simply compromises.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all this is. So when people get out there and be like, I'm not getting married to compromise, I'd be like, well, you technically not getting married. Like, that's at a certain point, I don't care what relationship you in. It could be between you and your dog. Like,
there's a compromise.
there's a compromise. You stop feeding the dog, then I'm gonna call the SPCA. I'm gonna, because you violating the contract between you. You took it. You said you was gonna take it in and take care of it. Okay. I, as the innocent bystander looking in, I expect you to do what you said you was gonna do. Now, when we take that and we put that as far as like the sacred institution of marriage, you go in there and you tell me somebody, you gonna take my daughter's hand in marriage, kid, and you gonna tell me that you not gonna do anything to try to better her life. You gonna just be the thorn in her side. Look, fam, as much as I understand what you jumped into, that's because I understand it. You don't get it though.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get it.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna get you out of her way, right?
I'm gonna move you.
I'm gonna remove you. Granted, in reality, I should not, because that's why I feel like the whole father giving her the hand has been like reduced now, because people be like, I'm gonna just get married regardless. No.
Yeah, because your father should have been the person that tested that.
I gotta vet you, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get me confused. I'm not trying to say I want to be the guy who just, I'm not gonna hit you with the meet the Fockers or nothing like that.
No.
But I'm going, nah, bro. If you tell me that you here for her and you solely here for her, yeah. But I'm watching you, bro.
But see, so just to take it a step further in what you said, I'm gonna hand her to you the way that I want to hand her off, the way that I gave her to you. I don't want you to have to send her back to me broken.
Right.
because you didn't do what you were supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vet you, and I'm not gonna beat you down while I'm vetting you. I'm gonna see that if I hand her to you in one state, that you're not gonna give her back to me in a state that I can't fix.
Right.
Like, for me, I always looked at it like this because I have a daughter. I love her to death. And I'm like, I want people to understand there should be a standard. There should be a line that is like, nah, you don't go under that line, baby.
Mhm.
Like, nah, there should never be a guy that you ever talk to that can't go to this line. I don't expect everybody. I tell a lot of people, I'm an apex around here. Like, you ain't gonna find too much just hiring me. And when it comes to standards, when it comes to drive, when it comes to a lot of things, but I expect you at least be at this line if you want my daughter. Because at least if you're at this line, I know you can go up.
Right.
We not starting from the gutter and her picking up the trash, and like, no, baby. Daddy got you right here. So since daddy has you right here, find someone that can help you rise above here. Don't go down to the gutter and nobody helps you rise. You just stay down there with them. That's why I'm like, when the Bible said a man don't work, he don't eat. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, without question.
If you don't have a job, bro, you shouldn't even be talking to my girl.
Right.
There's a certain level of self-building. I ain't gonna call it self-improvement because in life you should always be in a state of improvement.
Yes.
But there's a
Every
level
day.
to where I will say that there's an entry fee to marriage. Don't get like all these people be like, marriage don't do this, man. I'm like, look, bro, if it's not for you because you can't compete, then I understand. I'd rather you just not compete. Don't try to make it to where the people who on this other side who doing the work, who took on this journey and they actually putting like good energy in this person, like pouring into the person they with, and you see them building these skyscrapers and stuff, and you just trying to figure out, well, how can I put somebody else in my building? You looking for tenants. I've already found a tenant. Only thing I got to do is have them understand that the moniker on top of the building is ours and not just mine.
Yeah.
Right? You trying to figure out how can I erect this skyscraper and then put somebody else's name on there. What that's when you get that whole statement, what I'm bringing to the table. I got to figure out what level of compromise this person willing to do for them to have their name on top of the building too. In my case, no, when you was here and it was nothing but the bricks and the boards, you was building with me.
Right.
Right? Don't get me wrong. As far when I'm talking about the entry fee, I had to buy the landline. I had to be something worth trying to build.
Yeah.
Right? I had to come up with the vision, and this is our company motto. This is how I'm gonna raise my kids. This is my vision. Can you help me here? And you saw it and you was like, yeah, I want to rock with you. I think where you going and what you trying to do deserves a skyscraper.
Right.
And then you came in with me with the boards and the wood and all that, and you start building it up. What these other people get is like, I got this whole vision for my life, and majority of the time, they don't want to tell the truth. It does not have space for another person because there's no form of contract or compromise in it. Right. That's when you get that whole statement, I'm an independent woman. I'd be like, well, don't get me wrong. I understand you an independent woman, but are you an independent woman in relation to your relationships? Because there's no such thing as a relationship with one person. You can have a great relationship with yourself, but if you don't have a relationship with the people around you, that's the independence. No man is an island.
Yeah.
You should not you should not seek to live your life as an island. And you should also not seek to live your life looking for doormats. Like,
yeah,
the whole thing about the growth that comes from a marriage is knowing, hey, these are my yeses, these are my nos, and these is where you got a little wiggle room.
Simple. Them hard no's, like everybody should have a hard no. If you don't have a hard no, you
haven't reached the level to where I'm gonna be like, let me give you my daughter's hand. Because I'm gonna be honest, if I was talking to a dude and he was like, oh, I want to get with your daughter, and I'd be like, infidelity wise, if my daughter was to necessarily cheat on you, are you gonna stick around? And if he hit me with the no, I'm gonna be like, good, let me go ahead. This is my daughter. You should meet her. Right? Because when you get with my daughter, you should seek to make her better. Like, no, she needs to uphold her end of this bargain just like you. And if you gonna sit here and tell me that she got you so wooed and wild to where she is infallible, nah. I raised humans. I ain't raised gods. She can mess up, bro. And you need to be, in order for her to make her better, like I said, it's a duality. There's a hard love and there's a soft love. Call her on that.
Yeah.
Tell her the truth. She messed up. She messed up. Now, if you want to work it out with her, but don't let her think that she gonna go through life and nobody's gonna call her bluff and put her on spotlight. No, you messed up. There's consequence for every action. And if you gonna sit back and tell me, no, I'm gonna just keep on loving them, be like, well, then I don't necessarily know.
You a fool.
You a fool.
And I would tell any person that, whether you're giving your son away, your daughter away, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
If you're not telling the other person's like, hey, don't sit there and be stupid. That's like, I would never tell a man or a woman to sit there and be abused. I don't care if it's my child. Like, no, you want to sit there and let them do that? No, because that, as a person, you should want them to do the best, and they should want you to do your best.
Right.
If y'all don't want both those things for each other, what the hell y'all doing this for?
Wasting time. But that's what I feel like a large portion of society at this point in it is suffering from, right? Nobody wants to call anybody out, and nobody wants to be called out. That's why they can't see the value in marriage. You can't see that somebody who's with you day in and day out, picking apart you slacking over here. I see you stepping up over there. Like, basically, your spouse is a player coach. Like, I'm in the game with you, and I'm allowing you to critique me and sharpen me, but I'm also letting you know that, hey, this is how I critique you and sharpen you, right? So if you got somebody where the only person who doing the sharpening is you, because you got a really, really dull blade, I'm gonna just be like, look, if the person you with can't make you better in some way, and granted, a lot of people gonna take that as, oh, they can't help you grow a business or increase your boutique. No, you got the wrong concept of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, there is a level to where we are people. How can I make you a better person? Right? If me making you better financially makes you, more as far as charitable to other people, then sure. In my mind, I made you a better person. I made you more giving to people. Right? If me securing the spot that holds your heart allows you to go out and then be more trusting to people, because it's like, well, I ain't letting nobody get that deep, but I can let up a couple of these guards when it comes to, hey, you want to do this? Okay, we can do that. But just understand that this spot's taken, you going to be effectively still out in the yard. You passed the moat, right? You're still in the yard.
For sure.
If I'm that person that gets you to that point to make you better, more accepting, and more like, I'm willing to accept how people move, then I'll do that. But if you get to a point in your life where everybody you talk about, everybody you deal with, or everybody you envision or see is always trying to get the upper hand on you, and that's where a lot of these people who are in the social media space or in the podcast space, when it comes to, you feel like everybody's trying to beat you.
Yeah.
And because you feel like everybody's trying to beat you, you give this misinformation that your thought and your logic process is actually correct. You are the person we were mentioning earlier that was too successful in being isolated. You found yourself on an island, and because your island currently has all the nutrition you need, you feel like it's going to work for me. And granted, like I said, it does work for you until some of those things start to fall apart. It's beneficial till you get lonely.
And then it's beneficial until you starve.
Beneficial till you starve.
Yeah.
It's beneficial. It's beneficial to you,
because you're gonna become hungry for something that you can't provide to yourself. Like, you gonna starve, and like, whether it's you starving for attention, whether it's you starving for companionship, whether it's you starving for conversation, you gonna eventually have an appetite for something. And when you ain't got nobody around you to be able to feed that, it's gonna be a long time for you.
One thing that I want people to understand is, I don't care who you are. At some point, you gonna hunger for understanding.
Oh, most definitely.
You gonna just want somebody to be like, when I tell you that this is what I'm going through, I want to know that you understand what I just said in relation to just me. Like, if I tell you I'm having a hard time with this aspect of my life, right? Just this, whatever it might be, you have to understand me to a level to even fully like engage with me in the conversation.
Yeah.
So
It's a tale as old as time, bro. Like for people, what do we gravitate to? Relatability. We all have, like, even with us three sitting right here, we all have an understanding of each other because we have something in common. That it's some in some form of our life, we all have something in common, and that brought us to a common understanding. We talk to each other because we can relate to each other on certain things. That's just like with people out there when they be on these phones and they be going up and down these apps and they looking on these timelines. What they looking for? Relatability. They want somebody to be. When we listen to our music, we listen to music that reflects a life that we once lived or a moment in time that we can connect to. Every person wants something to grab onto, some semblance, whether it be in the past, whether it be in the present, or towards the future. We want something to relate to.
On that note, wait, you gonna say something?
Oh, nah, I was about to hit you with on that note.
Oh, see,
This has been another episode of
relatability.
Some for the People.
No, you ain't taking my line today. On that note, this has been another episode of Some for the People. Hold it down.
Be easy.
Yes, sir.